I remember the first time I learned this little trick that I'm going to share with you today. It was kind of like the first time I learned to hit Control-Alt-Delete on a computer. I thought that was the greatest computer trick ever invented in the history of the world. I've often said that knowledge is power in the kitchen. So this is part of my series on 50 tips and tricks every cook needs to know. This is a series that discusses and demonstrates simple concepts, methods, and techniques that anyone can master to take their cooking to the next level. So the first time I learned to do this, it was on a stove much like this, or on a gas stove, and it was called roasting a pepper, which can add a lot of dimension and elements to your cooking. I love roasted peppers, use them quite a bit. And the way I learned to do it was to put the pepper on an open flame and just cook it until it was completely charred. After that, you drop it into some cold water, and then painstakingly you peel it. And that's the way I did it for some time until I got a little smarter, and I'm going to teach you some of those tricks today. So let's learn about roasting peppers. So I'm going to push this aside and I'm going to show you a much easier way to roasting peppers, okay? So let's start. First of all, get you a good sharp knife, and we're going to cut this pepper, and there's several ways we can do it, and I actually have a video on how to cut the bell pepper. So I'm going to just show you one or two ways very quickly, and then we'll come back and discuss this another way sometime. So I cut it, then I'm going to just lay it down like this. Take that knife and run right down the edge of it here and clean it out. All my seeds go one way, and I have a nice clean bell pepper ready to roast. I'm not going to waste this part. I'm going to save that. One other way you can do it is, first of all, always take those stickers off. I always forget to do that. Take your knife, hold the bell pepper up, and just slice down the sides of it like this. And that's eliminating a lot of those seeds in the middle. And it's a good simple way to do it. And push those aside. Then come back and clean it up a little bit. Take your knife, lay it down flat, clean it up just a bit. And that's just about all there is to roasting peppers other than the roasting. So what am I going to do from here? I'm going to take a little pan, take my pepper. Here's the skin side. This is the side that we want up when we roast it. I'm going to spray that with a little bit of cooking spray. Lay it in there, skin side up. Flip these over here real quick. Just a little bit, not much. I'll put these in here, and I have an oven preheating to 425 degrees. Maybe 15 or 20 minutes. It depends on the oven. And we'll go back and check these, but when we go back to check these, we want them to be dark. We want them to be roasted. And then we'll come back and tell you what to do with them after that. Okay, let's go. Remember I told you the old-fashioned way I used to do it on an open flame, cooked it until it was just charred black. Well, that's what we have going on over here. And then we'll take it off of there and put it in a bowl of water just to cool it down. It's going to be very hot. Don't do this with your hands. Be sure you use some tongs. So we're going to do that right now. I think it's pretty roasted, actually. It's charred all the way around. I'm going to stick it in this water and let it cool off. Now this is the pepper that we put in the oven. I told you 425. I actually kicked it up to about 450 just to get it a little darker roasted. And then I put a piece of plastic wrap over it just to kind of steam it a little bit and then let it cool down. Now it's cool enough for me to handle. And I want you to notice it looks like almost like burned skin on the outside of it. What you're going to have to do is find a way to just get up under a corner of that and then start peeling back that layer of skin. Being very careful not to tear it up. And just peel it back. Sometimes I'll peel it over to the side like that, and then I'll take my knife and just come over here and trim it up a little bit. If you leave a little bit of that black, don't worry about it. That's just extra flavor we're going to have. So you do that to all the peppers. Now, you know, the top piece, we don't throw that away because you can peel that and use it when peppers run about sometimes up to $2 a piece. You don't want to waste anything. So use as much of the pepper as you can. So we'll peel this back. It's not too difficult. Sometimes you might have to get a little paring knife to at least get up under the skin to start it. Little time consuming, but it's well worth it because this is going to add a layer of dimension and flavor to your dishes. Now, what am I going to use these with? If I'm doing salmon, I may put some on the salmon as a garnish or any kind of fish dish. Use these on pizza. hamburgers, just about anything that you want to add that little extra flavor, you can use these roasted red peppers. Now we don't want to forget our little charred pepper over here, and see, I put it in that cold water, and I can painstakingly peel off this char. Now I've done this my mother told me 1,000,000 times not to exaggerate. I've done this many, many times actually, and it is not fun to do it, to get all this off of there. Peel it off, rinse it in that water, and then here's the part I don't like. I'm gonna come over here, I'm gonna cut the top of it off. Then I'm gonna carefully slit it open. I got all those seeds in there, and then I have to deal with them. So I'm gonna rinse them in the water. Of course, I'll put this under cold running water and get it real good and clean. But there you have it. You have another way to roast a pepper. Not my favorite way. It's just too much to deal with. I always prefer this way. Hope you learned something today. If you did, please reach over there and hit the subscribe button. Like this channel. It doesn't cost you anything to do it. And share it with someone else. I'm John Woods, and I love to cook, and I'll see you next time on All Things Food.